I really want to add backsplash to my kitchen, to this area right here. However, it is the perfect opportunity before adding backsplash while you still have open walls to add under the cabinet lighting. That way you can run the wires and hide them. So I'm gonna be showing you how to do that in this video. I wanna thank this video's sponsor, which is KiwiCo. Okay, so for wiring, I'm gonna be coming up from this switch here. I'm gonna use this switch to turn on and off all of my under cabinet lighting at once. They all have individual switches on them, but instead of click, 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 and then to also turn them off, this one switch will be able to do everything. Also, just a tip, if you wanna protect your countertops, an easy solution there is to cut up cardboard around the faucets and lay it over the entire thing. This way you don't even have to worry about it. So what I'm gonna do is increase this to a 2-switch double gang so that one will operate the light above the sink, which I'll probably never use because it's quite obnoxious. And then the second switch will operate the under cabinet lighting independently. I used a level to make some rough lines. I kind of changed my mind a few times on where to do it because you don't want to leave too thin of a strip at the bottom because that'll make it more difficult whenever you go to patch things back up. After having my line situated, I next used a multi-tool to make my cut. If you don't have a multi-tool, no sweat. You can also use a hand saw. It's just gonna take you a little bit more time. Also, just a tip from me, if you wanna keep your space a little bit tidier as you're doing this, then I recommend using a shop vac to run along as you're making your cut so that it can be sucking up the dust as you're creating it. Also, another really good tip is as you're pulling out the pieces, you can label them so that you know exactly where they go when you're trying to patch it back up. Next, I started running Romex. Since the lights are mounted to the underside of the cabinets, I drilled a hole in the back, then ran the wire from the hole to the switch. At this point, I'm leaving all my wires long and just getting them in place. To get to the next bay of cabinets, I needed to go through a few studs. So I used an auger bit and a drill to punch some holes. When you're cutting into your wall, you only need an opening big enough to get a drill in there for this step. I stubbed out a new line at each bay of cabinets I wanted a light fixture. Bare studs is simple to go through, but studs with an outlet on them, you need to consider the following. So I need to get some wiring from this side of the stud to this side. And whenever I'm choosing whether I go up and angle my bit up or angle it down, I look inside of this blue box to see where the wires are coming in at. On this one, they're coming in from the top side, so I don't want to drill up like this because I could possibly hit the wiring inside and that would be a whole problem. So instead, I'm going to angle my drill down and get through this stud this way. Now that we have a gateway over to this stud bay, I'm just gonna cut an access hole so that I'll have room in order to fish the wire up and then over here on the bottom side of the cabinet. This is the trickiest part of the project, making a pathway and then fishing the wire through, but you can see that it is very achievable. Going from the light switch through the bare studs, down under the outlet, then up to the cabinet where I'll next mount the fixture. Before closing it back up, I added in another switch. The first switch will remain for the light above my sink, while the second switch will be for all of the cabinet lights. When all of the wiring is done, next was to close it all back up. For me, this job doesn't have to be perfect, as next I'm going to be adding backsplash and covering up all of this drywall. I would place the pieces that I cut earlier back in the position and reattach them with screws. There were a few situations where there wasn't a second stud to attach, let's say, the left side to. In cases like this, you can grab a scrap piece of wood, shimmy it in behind the drywall, and then use a screw to attach it first to the drywall, either above or below, or both. And this gives you good meat to attach your patch of drywall to. So the next step is to patch up the cracks. You can do this with some drywall repair tape. And this stuff here is self-adhesive on the back where you literally just kind of peel and stick it. And you can even use your putty knife in order to rip the tape off. Next, you can apply mud to the tape. Now, I don't have a lot of experience in mudding, but the great thing again about this job is that it doesn't have to be perfect. You're just trying to get a good foundation for the backsplash. Oh, one tip though I would recommend is getting a fast setting drywall mud so that you don't have a big downtime once you apply the mud. I ended up getting a 90 minutes, so during that 90 minutes, I then switched over to installing the lights. They have a keyhole slot where you can trace with a pencil on the underside of the cabinet, and they do recommend that the light be placed towards the front of the cabinet. And this way you know where to pre-drill and attach with screws. Then all three of your wires, your black, neutral, and green, all come with quick connectors to where once you strip back the wires coming out of the wall, you can just slip them right into their connectors, shove them back into the housing, and now you have a light fixture. Now it should become quite clear on why this is the perfect project to do before tackling backsplash. Because none of this has to be perfect or prettied or all of this drywall perfectly patched back up. It just needs to be strong enough to hold up tile. Real quick, I want to thank this video sponsor, which is KiwiCo. KiwiCo is defining the future of play by making it engaging, enriching, and seriously fun. They create super cool hands-on projects and toys designed to expose kids to concepts in STEM, which is science, technology, engineering, art, and math. This is all shipped in monthly crates designed by experts and tested by kids to teach a new theme through hands-on learning and fun. This week in my monthly subscription, my friend Damien got the Tinker crate that has a robotics kit, teaching him to make a walking robot. This project plays with mechanical motion through robot building and experimentation. He could explore engineering and was able to build the robot structure and electronics and watch the robot walk. He had a blast while building and learning. Kids learn something new every month as the crates cover a wide variety of topics from month to month. KiwiCo lets kids remind us grown-ups the real power of small, because once they learn to solve problems today, who knows what kids might do tomorrow. If you would like to check out KiwiCo, then take advantage of this great offer. As a subscriber, you get 50% off any crate for the first month. There's a link for you down in the description, or you can head over to kiwico.com/April Wilkerson. Big thank you to KiwiCo for supporting what I do by sponsoring this video. Now, something else I did on my exact setup is I added this wood trim, and that's just because the thickness of my cabinet bottom didn't completely hide the light, so I could actually be sitting at my breakfast bar and be looking right into the light. So know that if your situation is the same, this is a very quick and easy solution to where it just adds a nice wooden trim and then stain it to match. In this way, whenever I flip them on, I still get the functionality of the light shining down, but I don't actually have to look right into the bulbs. And then look, having a switch dedicated to operating all of the lights as one complete unit is definitely worth the time, especially if you already have a switch and you just have to upgrade it to a 2-gang instead. And then this one is still to that light I'm never gonna use. I really hope that this video has helped you out. It was 100% worth the effort to me. And then of course, backsplash will be my next video. So if this is on your to-do list, then hopefully I've shortened your learning curve and gave you a little bit better of an idea on what you can anticipate from the project. I will see you on my next project. Thank you so much for checking out this video. Be sure to also check out my website because I sell lots of useful things, such as these fraction and decimal charts. They're not only cool shop decor, but they're also functional. If you're interested in getting yours, you can click right here.